mean, didn't things upload? I could have sworn I fixed that. Wow, that's really dark. Okay. Interesting angle. Wow. I think this looks better. Hi. Hi, darling. Hold on. I'm actually just been spending the last hour trying to fix things. Ugh, why are there always hiccups before my stream starts? Behavior, auto level. Interesting. I keep it like that. I think this actually works. AirPods died, so I can't hear anything. Oh my, oh dear. Okay. Increase the size. And then. Oh, wow. Oh, hi there. Zoom in. Zoom in. Fan up a bit. And there. Yeah, we get. Yeah, wait. Hold on, chat. I'm trying to get things right and properly working. Put that there. Put that here. Come on. Come on, buddy. Work with me here. My goodness, it's a big streamer. Big streamer. Oh, god damn it. I moved it. Oh. This is so clunky. There we go. Put that there. Make sure everything's working as intended. And voila. Hi, chat. I'm good. I was trying to get things working properly, as you guys could see earlier, but yeah, hiccups. It tends to happen. Good as usual. Pin 1. I haven't seen you in so long. I love your live, says Jinx. Thanks, Jinx. Hold on. So just let me sort things out real quick. Peep the fit. Nice fit. Oh yeah, I actually got the jacket working. See, colliders and all. I was spending the entire afternoon yesterday trying to and it still clips. Okay, not perfect, but it's something. It's something. So, for example, you have an article of clothing, right? And most of these assets you buy don't have fist bones where it really matters. I mean, I get it's a case-to-case basis with the avatars, anatomy, and whatnot. But one thing I really like putting in clothing when possible is it like having colliders, you know, this thing. Like you can you can pull and like interact with the collar, like how it bumps into your face like that. Oh yeah. One more nut job says first stream of yours I've managed to catch. Well, hi there. I was actually supposed to start 3 hours and a half earlier, but then again, my alarm has failed to awaken me into the proper streaming schedule that I've set for myself, and alas, here we are, quite late. But better late than never, right, chat? Yes. Oh, it looks even better now that you're piloting it. Oh, you mean the outfit? I figured I'd have something a bit more, I don't know, casual. Is that the proper term? Casual, but it's still very much me. See, chat, it's still me, chat. Why if it is an axiom? Hi. Oh, of course. How can we not have that right now? My goodness, the avatar volume is low. When does your chat talk because mine doesn't talk, says Shiv? I don't know. Sometimes TikTok is very picky with the messages that they want to send, but yeah. Either bacon, Vakes or Vax? Ah, yes, the perspective you told me I was a vehicle in. Yeah. Pretty nice being able to see downtown. Yeah, let's make it not so blurry. You can enjoy the sights. The way you're talking, you need one of them cuckoo clocks to wake you. I know. I've been considering buying like those. You know those like alarms, those big like LCD alarms. It's like the stuff that you see in a classroom or maybe in a gym, and it tells you the date, the time, like old school, and then it would be really noisy. I used to have a wind up clock, but the thing is, the alarm would wake me up. Of course, I wouldn't panic to the sound of something like a fire alarm going off to your ear, but I would always forget to wind it up. Like, huh, the habit never really grew. Streaming solo tonight. Yes, Vesper is still in her shift, so unfortunately, she's not able to grace us with her presence tonight, Anubis. Vesper says, oh, he doesn't need a cuckoo clock, he needs a Vesper to go Geb. Geb. Ah, yeah. The coin is floating. What are you talking about? No? It's in my hand. They makes us just subscribe for 7 months. You have subscribed.
Here I am again, 3 Geb a wave.
Yet another month. Congratulations. And thank you for supporting me this long. More than half a year. What do you know? Thanks for sticking around. Hello there, friend. You got the stuff. The stuff? Good morning, Medea. Hold on. Let me just close this thing real quick because it's getting in the way of the chat windows. Yes, it was when you wasn't messing with it. Oh, all right. I was. I forgot to turn off one of the options. Whoops. It's where if you let go of the coin, it's gonna like. Hold on, let me illustrate. Oh. Ah. The coin is stuck in limbo, perpetuality. Maybe it's like this. Oops, no. Must have like face down. And it's gone. Happy Easter, everybody. What's happening on Easter again? Like this mammalian creature with long ears, a rabbit, is somehow able to lay eggs. Whoa there. Alright. Lipstick 14, jeez. Gave us a few tricks up his sleeve. Hmm. Sorry, I was dealing with some messages over at Discord. Okay, where were we? Reading messages, correct. Playing some bullet chess at the moment. You play chess? The last time I played chess was with my friend Wolfie and Mecca was there. I'm not a seasoned chess player, that's for certain, but I do know the moves. Mystic says so many Easter egg hunts, but it was so much fun and down cute. Combined with the kite festival, the weekend was perfect, says Mystic. Oh, nice. Here, Easter is a bit different. It's. How do I describe it? It's more of the Jesus Christ thing. Like on Sunday, he rises again, sort of deal. And there, all the religious folk are doing religious things. For people like me, I just consider it another long weekend. Because everybody's in the provinces, in their rural hometowns. And here in the metro, the main city, there's no traffic. Heck, the air is clearer. There's less smog. And all the establishments have extra seats available. Thank goodness. Vesper says, I don't know. Here in the US, it's normally just gifts for children. I'm 20 though, so I just got a heating pack. Still thoughtful and needed. Practicality. What? You want me to zoom out more? There you go, chat. More? Like this. Hi, I'm Gemas, and as you may notice, I don't cast any shadows on the surrounding environment. I wish I could, in all honesty. You are still flipping your coins. Yes, yes, I am. What else can I do? Oh, well, hi Gabos, nice new outfit. I don't think it really differs from my usual outfit, right? I still have my nice high popped up collar, same old pants, and it's still me, chat. Of course, the brooch can never go missing, too. Yeah. Oh, okay. What's this? Oh, hello, RGB. Nice to see you. Anubis says, the three things that you need in this life: thinking, practicality, and being future oriented. That's true. You'll never get left behind with the trends, the knowledge that you need, and particularly the news. Mystic says, speaking of the brutes, I'm still rocking the old one. Mystic, please message me after the stream. I'm gonna give you the Unity package. I'm gonna give you the asset, the FBX of the new brooch. You need it. I need to give one to Mecha too. Axiom. Did Axiom misplace his? I'm not sure. Hmm. You have a tail on the avatar. Yes, I do. It is just conveniently censored by the whatever the heck I'm leaning on right now. Let's move a teeny bit forward. There we go. I know most of you are curious about my tail. Who knows? I might stand up later. Maybe not. Probably not. Curiosity, I know. Ah, I see. So pan the camera a teeny tiny bit to the left. Much better. Which gets to enjoy the uncropped view of my legs. Unfortunately, due to the mobile aspect ratio limitations that we have on TikTok, I cannot offer you the same liberties of seeing these things. Vesper says, I know Chat was curious about my tail last time we were there. That's true. It was rather stretched, wasn't it? Hello, hand. Seems my controllers are showing its age. Come on. You know, and if you ask nicely, I would answer. Love the background. Is it the bus stop or something? No, I'm quite literally just sitting on the streets. Here, have a zoomed out look, Chad. I'm sitting by the steps. Nothing fancy. Just a guy hanging out during the evening downtown. Yep, another day in the district. Hmm. Your controllers aren't showing their age, says Vesper. It's a meta glitch. Mine's practically brand new and does. That's true, isn't it? Vesper has a Quest Pro that's not more than 2 months old, and it still does the gestures get stuck thing. Like my hands, for example, we get stuck in this closed position or like switch positional states. Yeah, what can we do? I love how the ears twitch. I'm glad you find my hearing aids most pleasant. Chat seems to be commenting on the ears a whole lot, especially in my Chinese community. My red note, they especially love the ears. I'm, it's, it's just the things I used to hear. Blizzard, thank you for the roses. Everybody else, thank you for the roses as well. No, really, I appreciate it. I really do. I'm gonna do something on TikTok real quick. Well, what do you know? Thanks, buddy. Thank you, Fluffy Fox. I grew hair. Yes, instead of me growing balder, that's better, right? What's this? Vesper says, I mean, yeah, the ears are really cute, like some sort of fennec fox and dragon. Fine, fine, I agree. Cuteness aggression makes them want to bite your ears. Funny enough, the Chinese are, maybe it's because of translation, maybe it's their culture. They're very forward with their comments. Very forward yet very polite at the same time. And 8 out of 10 times they just wanna sink their teeth into my little, well, maybe not so little ears. Steele says, I feel like your speaking slash enunciation has evolved since I last watched your stream. Have you worked on it? Proactively, no. It's probably because I got the proper amount of sleep beforehand. When I was streaming the last time you were probably here, I was in a very low energy slash spent state. I really like your OC, says Brock. Thanks. Is it cold? I wouldn't be wearing a jacket if it wasn't cold now. Yab is asking, what language do you speak? I vaguely remember you saying you were European. from South Africa myself. 1. I only speak English and Tagalog. 2. I am not European. I am 100% Asian. I'm from the Philippines. Jasper says he's also spent a lot of time with an American girl. Yes, he is Filipino, so Tagalog is his mother tongue. Yeah, that's true. Spending a lot of time with Vesper. Heck, even Mystic's accent is rubbing off on me. I just try my best to keep things reined in. I'm also Filipino, says Rini. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Ba't kayo nagpupuyat ganitong oras? Di pa kayo natutulog? Kaagising lang. Anna says, is this world called the district? This is called District Roboto. A regular here. I'll see you around, Blizzard. Hold up, have I seen you on Twitch? Asked Wingwolf81. Yes. It's like having two television sets. One is standing upright and the other is properly oriented in landscape. Twitch is where I'm properly oriented. Uncrop. Frames are high and resolution is even higher. Matthew says Mystic's accent sounds Jamaican. She's nowhere near Jamaican. I've heard how Jamaican speakers talk. They're very distinct. They always use the term blood and bomboklat and a whole lot. It's very. It's a signature, that's for sure. Jamaican, huh? I need a Jamaican friend. I have yet to run into a Jamaican VR chat player. It would be so interesting with how they'd sound. Blood. Blood clot, yeah. Precisely, man. Oh, man. They have a certain poeticness to their words. Thank you, Giancarlo. Are you a nice guy or a bad guy? You know what, Just I leave that to you viewers to judge. Matthew says, when she's mad a little bit, she got mad at me and I thought I was done for. Yes. Mystic says, my family is very diverse, so I pick up on some accents, especially on rolling the tongue. That's where similarities start, huh? It depends on the context, says RGB. Princesita can mean a lot of things. Precisely. I'm using small slimes. I'm partial about them now. Sometimes they tend to freak out, but I probably guess it's just a reception issue. Yeah. You see, whenever Vesper and I call Mystic Princesita, it just means we're calling her a pretty princess. Nothing really fancy. Nothing mean about it either. We speak only the truth when it comes to our number one friend. We all seen the kitty running around. There is a bunch of felines running around in the district. Yes. Yes. The joys of having follower-only chat on TikTok. The quality has dramatically increased. Thank goodness. It triggers her a lot. it triggers her cuteness. That's why. Probably say Princessita long enough, and then more of the cutesies come out. Thank you, Terrence. Okay. Yeah. Quick reset, yo. Wow, that is some terrible drift. Ay, princesita. Hi there, Lishka. Good evening. Ivara's asking, what shader do you use on your model? It looks very good. Hi there, Ivara. One, thank you for asking very nicely. I really appreciate the courtesy. And to answer your question, I am using none other than Poyomi, just the standard ones. What? Does it look fancy? Hmm. You know, I now know why people say, Gib, why does your graphics look so good? I think it's because of my direction in, well, aesthetic. I try to keep things more grounded, more real, despite having the more, well, obviously, fantastical elements to one's design. Most furry avatars either use a flat toon shader or they have so much crap going on their body, so much like shiny things, so much panosphere, so much this and that. It's really hard to discern like how the world lighting should affect them properly. Me being very simple in design, and I tend to like set my lighting to how the world should be, I guess makes me mesh really well. Let me show you how I look like without lighting, Chad. This is Geb with world lighting. Not flattering, isn't it? Then I have that. Then I have that. Now, Geb, how did you do that? That is a trade secret. Figure it out on your own. And no, it's not available on Gumroad, chat. It's something handcrafted. He became black. Oh no, at least my accent didn't change. I will string you by the tail, threatens Mystic to Matthew. Oh no. Logan says, hello, bud. How are you doing? You were in my recommended, so I said, why not? Hi there, Logan. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy your stay. I'm just your typical average just chatting streamer using VR chat as his platform. Hi there, gal. Ah, yes, the joy of having elbow tracking. When I rotate my wrist, my arms stay in place. Do you have a fursuit of the sonar? Do you plan on making one? Asked Ludicrous Seal. um, Nothing immediate. That's my answer. I mean, I making a fursuit of. I don't know, man. Making a fursuit involves like one, the expenditure. Two, the logistics of bringing it to and fro between said convention or place I'm gonna wear it at. Three, it's so hot. Have you seen the heat index on my country? Recently, it's been at 52 degrees Celsius peak. That's really hot. That's over half the temperature required to boil water. And probably at a temperature that's too hot to the touch. Logan says, if that's in VR chat, may you please whisper me the name of the world? This is District Roboto. It's nothing private. Elishka, listen to me, girl. Go rest, sleep. Go to bed. No. Stop typing. Go to bed. Get your rest, recuperate, and heal. What's this? Happy Easter, Christian. Timbo, hi. A little late with the replies, but I did not ignore you. Matthew says, my slime tracker's in the ankles. Just don't move straight with leg to the front. It does this, right? Like to the left and the right. Mounting calibration. Oh, god damn it, Mystic, making me drink. Fine. Oh, where is my... Where's my drink? There we go. Mango juice. Hello. Open. So earlier, I bought some... a very kind... Ooh, almost fell on my shorts. A very kind neighbor dropped some Japanese cheesecakes over at my place. It was the high quality ones too. Luckily enough, I have like a small cup of sundae I've been saving for emergencies. And I put the cheesecake on top. It was so good. Goodness me. Okay. I've hydrated, Mystic. There we go. I'm putting that back. Why did I drink something cold? I forgot I had some perfectly warm tea here on my side. Double hydration. Matthew, it's not about the position. It has to be on the side. It's all about doing the mounting calibration properly. You see, slime is a bit finicky when it comes to doing the ski pose. I'll teach you some tips and tricks if and when we catch each other in VR chat. Whoa there. I know I can go incorporeal, but rude. Damn it, Lipstick 14. No. Oh. There is something different with his patrol routine today, huh? Where were we? Hi, Chad. I'm Gebus, and apparently robots like passing through me. Should I change my sitting position, Chad? So I'm not in the way of little redhead over there. Maybe. Probably. Perchance. Whoa. Oh. Why is my intangibility working at the worst of times? Hello? Upsy daisy. There we go. I think you might have to... Funny, last time I was here, he was polite and he was like patrolling over at my left, not my here. Yes. There we go. Get inside the... I am not Mecha. Mecha's the one who likes going inside the boxes. If you were here during my last stream chat, Mechatronic Dragon here, and he was promptly inside one of the crates. That crate in particular. Vesper says no. Lipstick 14 just has the innate ability to pass through people and objects like a speck. These robots and their funny abilities, yeah? Mecha really likes boxes apparently, and I'm the one being accused of being a cat normally. You know what? That's a fair argument. At least he didn't bump into me this time. There's a box directly ahead of me, actually. You see that crate over there? Yep, that's where Mecha was. Christian says, I love this. It's a nice and calm stream, which I usually can't find. Welcome to my my fantastically unexciting streams. It's just me, a guy yapping with some music playing in the background, and sometimes I have guests. Most of the time, it's Vesper. The last set of guests I had, aside from Vesper, was Mystical Aurora here in chat, and also Mechatronic Dragon. Hi there, Torny. The beans. And yes, I'm a cat. Okay. Wow, that is really way off. Okay. Whoa, buddy. Buddy. Oh, there. Fine, zoom out a bit. What's this? Hi there, Reed. I got ads, 4 of them. They're really pushing hard their products, huh? His success. That devious face was showing immensely on that meetup. Got me wondering what was plotting on that head of yours. Plotting? I was merely observing. It was quite the sight. What are your friends doing behind you? They're talking. Oh, you mean those guys? Well, they're doing precisely what you said. They're having a conversation. It's been going on for a few days. Timbo, this is called District Roboto. Funny how not much people know this world. I mean, it's probably one of the best showcases of what the VR chat world can be. Yes, they're talking indeed. We tried Simon's Cafes. I can't say I have. Why? What's over there? I like the downtown area. Why? Because it's full of life, quite literally. You see people conversing behind me. There's just so much going on, and I'm just, well, part of a bigger place. Okay. Okay. I am clipping again into the damn pot. I love that world. It means you already know what this was in the first place. You know? Can you walk around? Does chat want to see me? No, I'm not standing up, chat. Nope. I'm good. I am very much relaxed. I am sitting on my lazy boy. Yes. See, there's ample space. You could use that next time, 14. Was that a little tail review? Chat, my tail is nothing special. Either V8. Physics says that's why I love world hopping. You can you can see so many worlds that are hidden gems. Too many people. You know, I was in the furry hideout last week, Mystic. Well, actually a few days ago. I was in a tiger bee. Best advice, avoid the instances with no age verification. Oh, promise. Chris says, I wonder what the bots behind you are plotting. If they've been talking for days, they must be plotting. I don't know. They're robots. They are in a completely different platform of communication compared to us. Probably all just ones and zeros. I'm shocked you went there again. I wanted to see what was going on in the realms beyond my own personal bubble. I recently talked to a friend and she said, Geb, do you remember the time before you just started hanging out in private instances with friends? I said, yeah. I always used to be in the furry hideout. I would sit there for hours just mirror dwelling, listening in on the conversations. You know, I'd probably be there on the second level. I'd go up by the roof, and then there's like the telescope on the left, and then there's like a mirror here. That's my favorite spot for a while. And then eventually I move further to the right where the crystals were. It's like a little helipad, and yeah, I call it the introvert's corner. NPCs need some manners. Then again, Anubis, I'm the guest here. Can you show us what the furry hideout looks time? What do you mean? Now? No. Will I ever go there on the stream? No. Vesper, continuing on the conversation about the robots behind me. They could be taking them ages to get out the whole sentence even. We don't know how fast or slow they are. Judging by their design, I wouldn't exactly put them in high computational standards, chat. They're quite literally just rust buckets. Oh yeah. Hello, Hans. Tracking? Wanna work with me? Higher, like this. Top view. Hi, chat. No. I kid. Let's keep it there. We can have a people, like the people behind me. I know you're watching those two bots behind me, chat. Um, Hi there, person with a star as a name. What's this? Mystic says, it still amazes me that you stepped out of your comfort zone to stop by and observe the chaos I dwell in 70% of the time. Well, 80% of the people I ran into were, as you've coined it, chaotic, not gremlin energy, but one of them was shy but walked up to me and said, I will, he had a particular accent. I will sit next to you, keep you company. It's like, I wasn't talking at the time. I pretended to be mute. I didn't go there to strike up conversations. I was there to merely observe. I was in a tiger bee, and tiger bee was just this large, and yeah, he was oddly clingy, and I promptly disappeared. The other one that I encountered, well, it was a bunch of kids, the ones that say a lot of slurs and whatnot. The good old gremlins of VR chat. Those are the people I encountered in the not age verified instance of the furry hideout at the time. Greetings to you, Astas. Hi there, Akira. What does your tail look like? Go to my Discord and you'll find out. Okay, there. Vesper says, similar situation to me being in that Don like Mallow avatar. Cute and easy to be quiet, and since people just find it cute, precisely. Or pay him $50. Bevan, what was the first sentence? TikTok probably censored it. Age verified area. I understand why you won't show us the furry hideout now. It's quite the opposite, Seal. Just because it's an age verified instance doesn't mean there's inherent lewd content going on. It's just a lot of the minors, the uneducated, ill mannered minors, no, minors, period, aren't there. It was nice, peaceful. It was just adults striking up conversations. Some of the adults were playing music, and others were criticizing it. It felt like a very civilized area. Just because things are 18 plus doesn't automatically mean it's NSFW. Like my Discord, for example, I only cater to community that is 18 or above, but it doesn't mean it's NSFW. I just don't like dealing with kids, period. And these people probably have the same reasoning as I. What is my playing? What am I listening to? Ooh, what's this? Evan says, someone asked, what does your tail look like? And I said, go to your Discord to see. Or is it $50 for pause? Are you perchance talking about the wagers that never happens anymore? Well, what can I say? Uh, Before, I used to have little games where people would go join me in my little flip the coin thing. If it landed on their side of choice, I would get the penalty of their choosing. If I won, they toss some coins my way. That's what the wagers were. Yeah. Now, as for what my tail looks like, chat, do, maybe I stand up. Maybe if I lose. I'm very much comfortable sitting the way I am right now. I know a bunch of you are curious. No, it's not a Nova Beast tale, Chad. No, it isn't short either. Hi there, Dusky. Bad life advice a day. I don't know if anybody has redeemed one. Hi there, papercraft. Yeah, good morning. It will not work because I haven't updated my deck yet. Civil, yes, Civil War game. Vesper says as nice as verified instances can be, I can't get myself to really talk all that much to strangers, especially through chaos. That is why you need a public instance buddy. Much like cops going in patrol in the ghettos and the more seedier areas. You can bring me along if you wish. Theo says chat pigtail a bit too often out of pride and loyalty. It was a losing game. But if I were to wager something again, I would pick tails too. I'm loyal. I have pride. Gabos, what's the most awkward experience you've had on VR chat? Awkward experience? Ah, is it awkward or uncomfortable? Awkward was. Oh, I met a flasher. There are flashers in game chat. One moment they're good you guys are hitting it up with a good conversation. You think they're normal, they're civil and everything. Next thing you know, they start talking about lobotomies and whatnot. And things were presented without consent out of the blue, and I was unprepared, and I promptly disappeared from that instance. Yeah, wow. Keep it in your pants, Chad. You change the design of your tail again? No. Come on, you must have seen it by now, right, Anubis? Hi there, Domain. Meeting me. No, Matthew, you're completely fine. Wonders of VR chat, says Bevan. Correct. What is going on with my trackers? I saw it, but I wasn't paying attention at the moment. You mean my tail? Oh, you guys are so curious. Hello? Meta, being meta. There we go. Look at that. Look at my controller tracking. I can't wait to get a new headset to use. If only the big screen Beyond 2 had like controllers. No, I'm not investing in extra base stations. The headset itself is already expensive. But if I were to buy base stations, how much would that be? Almost double. I need at least four given my strange layout with a loft bed above me. Painter tail to duster tail. Mystic knows how my tail looks. Big ol' feather duster is the correct comparison. Just dropping by to say I slumber. Good night, sweetheart. Good night, Frank. Gebus, pause or moss? Or why? Under what context? Either solo band. What am I doing? I'm hanging around downtown. I like it when you call me by my name. Go to bed. Sorry, the question wasn't for me. Matthew here, answered Moss. Your voice is different. Really? Of all things that didn't change, that would be my voice. You got some metal friends behind you. I know they're They're really hitting it up with the conversation. Could be philosophical, could be nonsense. Lobotomy being a turn on in VR chat is what I know. Ugh. There are several things that turn me off in VR chat that thank goodness I haven't really ran into, but I've seen like written in their bios and I've seen snippets of it in social media. Uh, how do I say this? I've I find people that role play as children or like babies bizarre. Uh, like they have like this like the VR chat families I can like they're okay. I guess I don't really understand it, but like oh this is my mom, this is my dad. Like hold on, like really like are you actually like my blood or but anyway, my point is that's okay. That's your thing. That no one's getting harmed. But I seen like people like be into diapers and whatnot. I'm like, you're where you stay away from me, pal. Yeah, no, you're a grown adult, and you like these definitely infantile habits. Yeah, no. Goodness me, like I can't comprehend it. It's disgusting, chat. Yeah, anywho. Oh, hi there, Piano Ghoul. Nice to see you. This is the super duper popular fur from Germany. I'm just kidding. Wonderful person. How are you? What is with my weird hotel lobby music? Happy Easter. Baby first. Yeah, there we go. That's the term. Oh. So yeah, anywho, continuing on the discussion, there there are certainly things that I I cannot digest no matter what. Mozzarella cheese says, I remember following you when you had your old Nova. Yes, I am actually a Volper chat. It seems Mystic has had like bad experience with the topic. That the black button exists for a reason. Ah, thank goodness. Thank goodness it's really quick to access. Piano mentioned, yes, Ludicrous Seal. Piano Ghoul, one of the first people who befriended me in the VR streaming space and gave me a bunch of tips. I was at around, I don't know, 100 followers at the time. Can you play the song you had on loop about a year? Are you talking about the desert music? Vesper says, yeah, as much as age regression is a coping mechanism to trauma, a lot of it that I've seen in VR chat is purely for NSFW intent, even though there have been few just trying to cope. But in most cases I've seen, it's not coping, it's gross. Look, chat, it's just gross, period. I don't care. Sling all the hate towards me. It's disgusting. Like, look, not have painting broad strokes here. If you like role playing as something younger, then go ahead. But if you like role play as pee pee poo poo diaper babies, think, oh my goodness, have a good look at yourself, chat. And buy deodorant too while you're at it. Ugh. I don't like today. Axim, you're the expert when it comes to these things. These exploratoriums of well, us Vesper coins kinks. Yeah, I I will just drop the topic. I shall not give it any further energy by discussing it. Yes. Vesper says, yeah, going to college to become a psychiatrist teaches you things. Ves, I don't need to be a psychiatrist to know that these things are gross. Next topic. Ah, ooh, no, no. If I start opening topics about VR chat, it's gonna end up being polarized and me being yeah, no, I'm not gonna give people cancel material. I can always talk about, oh, let's talk about the ratio about anime girl avatars who look underage but are piloted by men. Yeah, I wanna discuss that and my personal views on it, but I will not. This chill stream is gonna remain a chill stream. Next topic, says Vesper. What does chat think about Vesper's new look? I mean, Gebos' new look. Chat, I know most of you were on the fence about like my new appearance, in all honesty, and I get it. I get it. It's definitely something to get used to. But at the end of the day, it's still me, though. You can see your paws and the base of your tail. All right, thank you. There we go. Let's censor it a bit more. Theo says, I love it. The jacket is stylish. I like the angle from his left. The lighting is nicely balanced that way. Thank you for having a good eye. I try my best to be part of a world as much as possible. Like you guys are having a snippet of what's actually going on. Good night, Bevan. See ya. Mystic says, even there are things we don't touch as explorers. Precisely. Oh, hello. Tracking. I'm going back to my normal trackers next time. These small slimes are a bit unreliable. 1 hour and 4. Timestamp. 104. Oh, that's music something. Wow, TikTok, an activity detective in your life. Slime. All right, I gotta fix that. So apparently, I gotta slide this jigsaw piece all the way here. Come on. Nope, I missed. Okay, let's try that again. Hold on, chat. There we go.
Answering to Vesper, he looks better than ever. He was great before. He's even greater. Amazing outfit always know how to increase his own style.
Why on earth did the text to speech sound that way? Ugh. Hold on, chat. I was fixing a bunch of stuff. Okay. Now, reading back on your messages. Vesper says, oh no, Matthew says, answering to Vesper, he looks better than ever. He was great before, he's even greater. Ah, it's the message that was playing. A bit glitched on my end, so I didn't really understand. Amazing outfit, always know how you increase his own style. I did ask on Discord though, and you were one of two people that gave input. So thank you, Matt. Good morning, Evolve. Slime rotate. There we go. Mystic says just because his appearances changes doesn't mean his personality changed. Still the same lovable goofball explorer we all know. Lovable goofball explorer. Thanks, Mystic. Theo says I meant 45 degrees to your left. If your front is south and your left is west, southeast, north, east, southwest. Oh, yes. You know what? I'm checking this a bit late, but did my ping go off in my. Oh, it did. The realest thing I've seen this morning. Thanks, chat. Oh my. Okay, stream pings went off. Very good. All right, Vesper has dinner tonight. You enjoy your dinner with your grandpa, okay? Goodness, Tasha's being really demanding, okay? They won't even give me a break. Goodness gracious. Oh, I think I moved the camera a bit, didn't I? There. Perfectissimo. Mystic says, huh. I noticed when you say north and south, you say it with a T. T, yeah. How do you say Thailand? With it has H, right? Thailand, Thailand. North, north, south. How else are you supposed to pronounce it? North, south. That was a big yawn. Yes, chat. I usually get sleepy during streams. Thailand. Seal got it right. I think you should pronounce the TH as an F. Like North? Sour? What? That sounds so stupid. Happy Easter, Wolfflower. Hi there, Jinx. I'm glad you find it relaxing. I said please though. That's true. With all caps and with 4 exclamation points. Narf. Sarf. What? North. North. South. South. I'm doing okay. I'm I'm so used to it by now. Am I floating? There we go. There's a lot of people in chat whose names I can't pronounce. Either Anjef one. I'll call you Ange. That's easier for me to say. Anjef. I swear, I still don't see most of the messages in my chat. Opening extended chat settings. There we go. Moderator. General. Yep. All right. Everything seems correct. Either one will say. Oh yeah, chat. By the way, um, definitely within either this month or no, before Forality, I'm going to be launching the reading thing. It's been set back a while because of things, things. All right. Soon you'll be able to have like Gebels, but offline. Very cheap too. Don't worry. I've been contemplating on the material that I should read. You know, aside from classical stuff, obviously cannot read books that are not copyright free because I would get into trouble. Somebody would slap me on the wrist. And I think one of the things that would be nice would be reading bedtime stories. We can start with that, right? There's gonna be bedtime stories. Wow, on the flip side, spicy content that's maybe for the higher tiers. Maybe if you really want me reading spicy things, like the breathing down the neck becomes even warmer, closer, more carnal than it usually is. I can put that in a higher tier if you want. You have to pay more if you want that content. But yeah, something like that. The thing is, where am I gonna source them? Am I just gonna get the locally written ones, or I'll also be using my good mic on that. Take my money. It's not even there yet. But yeah, definitely gonna be doing it soonest. Maybe if it's April, third week right now, I'll start working on it on May. I just need like material, chat. That's all. Hmm. The skin, it's beautiful. Thanks. I appreciate that. I will be announcing it on my Discord first and foremost when there's stuff already. I have to make at least a month's worth of content. I I will probably be doing one for each week. Actually, that's a lot. That's a lot. I'll be doing one for each week, one reading for each week. Maybe when hmm, different categories per week, or is it all the same categories per week? Let's see how much I can muster up. I'm gonna make sure it's well worth the money though. It's more of something on the side, really. But at least, you know, the option is there. If you really want to hear me reading things, you go DM me the suggestions chat. Send it to me. Let me know. Make sure it's copyright free. Ocam. Yes? What about? Would it be strictly hetero though? You know what? For the platinum tier, I will read anything that isn't blatantly outside of my rule set. Yes, I will read not hetero stuff too if you wish. It's not me in the book, I'm just reading it. Actually, I gotta put food on the table. Anything that's still tasteful, yeah. I'm not gonna read any like uh, n- uh problematic content. Have you ever read Rotten Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry? No, not yet. Rotten Ruin. Okay, and then here's what's gonna. Shoot, how do I do this? Chat, what's gonna be different during these readings are again, in case I haven't described it before, I will be doing all of these in VR chat. So just imagine me right now. I'm holding an imaginary book and then I'm like reading things. That's how it's gonna be. I mean, initially I thought about the cheap route. I just prop up my microphone and then I just read, right? It's audio only. But then where's the fun in that? Right? So I'm gonna be putting on my full body. I will be in a world that somehow suits, well, the theme of whatever the heck I'm reading. And you get to enjoy facial tracking and my voice to its fullest. Sounds like a good deal, right? How do you like your steak? Rare. Vesper says, Geb puts a lot of love and care into his content, so Avatar streamlining even where I sit. Fine tuned to the perfection for you to enjoy. Perfection. I just have to scrap up whatever looks presentable. It seems Mystic and Matthew over here got displaced a little bit due to my little reading impromptu earlier. Was it not good? I'll take that as praise, my friends. Fine Hurler says the order goes from rot and ruin, dust and decay, flesh and bone, and fire and ash. Oh, Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared. Hey, Lakata. Hi there. I'm good. I'm great. Don't worry. Oh, I put my coin. Yep, there we go. Comedy between Matthew and Mystic. Hi there, first time. I'm feeling nice today, so I'm actually gonna answer. Mm. Simple. You look online. It's a free asset. By rival. Theo says, what if you gave your avatar some reading glasses and a turtleneck, and instead of a coin flip, No. Jonathan Mayberry. I may need to write that down. But then again, if I profit off of somebody else's writing, that's not morally correct. And, well, legally even. So we're gonna go read some copyright free. You know what, chat? How about we make this interesting? How about we have a day where I read user submissions? So you have a fanfic, you have something, and you give me permission to read it. And you want me to hear, well, you want me to let you hear how it sounds when I read it. Just DM me. I'll probably put that in a special channel in my Discord for my patrons. Gonna be an interesting project. Hmm. I wonder what people are gonna give me. Hmm. Oh man. Mr. Detective, how much did your avatar cost? And Gumroad, $50. And a whole lot of my time. I don't know any fanfics as ludicrous seal, so I'll trust that your chat knows what's good. Let's see. Or maybe I should get to work. Again, I read anything as long as it's copyright free, alright? See you around, Birkut. Thanks for hanging around. Oh wow. Meta displacing the room. There we go. Bit more. There. What's this? Aladdin over here floating, I know. It's not perfect, but I try to, well, place myself properly. There we go. How was your Easter holiday? Fantastically uneventful. Had a bunch of food ordered, but that's it, really. Why, if it isn't Spine Hurler the Slug Cat, enjoying their exodus from TikTok's constrained proportions. So that's what your profile pic was. I thought it was a Pikachu. Matthew says, you just offered chat a lot of power, Gib. Can't wait to see the request. It's gonna be in the highest tier of the subscription service I'll be launching. Don't worry. So, because who knows what unfiltered stuff chat's gonna send me. Vesper says you could tell an extended version of your lore, copyright free, unique. You that's the thing, chat. I don't want to write. I just want to read. It looks nothing like a Pikachu. Well, with my like I don't know 20 by 20 pixel data that I can extrapolate details from, it looks like a Pikachu with a dark blue background and white outlines. You don't know how rich thirsty people are. You telling me if I make it $100 subscription service per month, people would still pay as long as I read their depraved writings? And then make like a super platinum pro max tier where I will not release it to the public and it's only for them. There will be a few. I just get one guy giving me 200 per month and I'm good. I can buy groceries properly. With voice acting, says Uranic. You mean the huh? 100 look, seal the platinum tier is not gonna be that high, don't worry. I'm gonna put a joke. Super high expensive tier where I will read anything with a bit of voice acting in it. I think everything's gonna have voice acting, period. You guys got a sample of it earlier anyway. So you shall have an idea on how things will be. Trust me, I will be way more fluent in the English if it's something I'm reading instead of something I'm thinking of on the spot. Anubis says you need to know your allies' strengths and recommend their services for them to do the same. It seems Spine Hurler is gonna take my coin. Take it. No, I don't, Dennis. But yeah, Chat, do you want this thing up and running as May? I can scrounge something up. And then I can work on the Discord organization like after. Okay, I have an extra coin here. Always bring an extra, chat. Well, hand snap back in place. Good night, Timbo. Ah. Pardon me, my cat is awake. He just woke up, in case you can hear the sounds. How is your motorcycle? You know what? Good question. I really miss the thing. The last time I rode my bike was 2 weeks ago. It's when I went out of town for that little trip to the. Where did I go? It was a beach resort. You know, sand in your toes, ocean mist in your face. But yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've rode. I actually really miss riding. I need to like go out at least once a month, bare minimum. Hi, Yami, says Mystic. Yami, please, I'm working here. You know, you could give me little video tours as an excuse. Yeah, you know, I'll probably be going out a whole lot more once I'm able to like purchase my dream bike. I am still saving up a whole lot. I think I maybe my little recording project will give me the funds to, get there. Maybe, perchance. So yeah, keep your eyes out for me, chat. Wow, I am being displaced a whole lot today. Why, Vincent Cat? Hi there. Good morning to me. Good evening to you. I'm glad I got the thing solved. Look. There's fist bones on my collar now. Like, oop. Wait, let me lock myself in Google over there. It moves now. Well, to an extent. 4 fingers and a thumb. I know, right? That's. Don't make the yes girl joke, chat. Don't. I know I did the pause. I also fixed up the face. The first version definitely needed work. Hmm. I see what people meant when, oh, you look like you just had plastic surgery. And I had the consequential swelling on the face. Oh. But yeah, hi, good morning. I mean, good evening. I hope you're doing better today. Well, better than yesterday. That's what we're all trying to do, right? It looks even better in person, Kat. One time I'm gonna go request off you and let's chat like old times. If you're up for it. I've just been in a lot of places as of late. And by a lot of places, I mean offline. Like, I've been to like Blender Avenue, Substance Painter, Road, and Unity City. Crappy naming scheme, I know. See you around, Dennis. Matthew says, gonna hit the bed, Gibbs. See you later. Hope to see you on the next one. I'll see you around, Mystic, and bye, chat. May you have the sweetest of dreams, Matt. Thanks for hanging around. Yes, Queen. No. Erler says, once I finish the book I'm writing, I might actually submit it. Maybe. Yeah, by all means. Cat says, I'm very much down for that. Yeah, I haven't really been online at all, especially VR. You don't even need full body, in all honesty. I got meta things happening. I got motivation to go into VR chat more after um polishing a bunch of stuff in Blender and actually managing to turn this ridiculously unoptimized avatar into a medium rating. Yes, chat. I have a medium version of this. A little janky, but it's still me all the same. I wish VR chat would allow at least one light for medium rating. I hate that it's automatically downgraded to poor. Hmm. If only. Wow. What a strange time to have a phantom taste of nicotine in my mouth. Hmm. I've quit smoking many, many years ago. Over 15 years by now. Oh, and it gives you a good idea of how old I am, chat. And I didn't even smoke for a long time either. Just a little under a year. It was during college, peers and all. Everybody was smoking. Thesis was stressful. It seemed cool, and it was also the number one social lubricant for students who had night classes. And then I went ahead and experienced how it was like to kiss a chick who was a heavy smoker. Let's just say a pleasant experience. Goodness me, smoker's breath, teeth, and everything else is disgusting. And I said, you know what? No, I don't want my breath to be the same. I've stopped. Okay, Meta, you wanna play games with me, huh? Flinging me around. Okay, calibrate. Move. There. Wow, a treasure box. Thanks. What is that? How do I click that? Hello. All right. You look amazing. Thank you. Anubis says, if you would like to increase your income, you could give practical information to people. But that's dime a dozen. What information do I have to offer that won't offend them? Chat, grow a spine. Quit being a snowflake. Go back to the time when the world actually knew what jokes meant. That's practical information. Chat, if you're a square, don't force yourself to be a circle. You'll never fit in that hole without losing a huge part of yourself. Yeah, that's why I don't give practical information. I'm gonna get canceled by the internet. I'll be heading off, says Yura. You have a good stream. Bye, Yura. You have a good day at work, okay? I'll see you around. Oh, what? Fit in that hole. That's what she said. Yeah. Ah, yes. Chat, another practical information I can give you. If you make your biography in any social media platform or in any game be about your self mental illnesses and whatever defects you romanticize, you are both a big L and you're disgusting. Either that or you're a kid and you have yet to grow out of it. Then I'll understand. Hmm. I can speak a lot of truths, chat, but you're not gonna like it. There's a reason I don't give my opinions on wow, hello robot, on a lot of things out in the public. It's the same thing as Not everybody has to hear what the heck you think. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it seems everybody has to declare anything and everything about what they think, what they support, what they are, what people would want them to assume to be. It's like, I miss the days when the world was normal, where you actually got to know people, right? And you know what front people offered back then? Friendliness and courtesy. That's it. That's all you needed. Now everybody has to be like a LinkedIn account when it comes to ugh. It's yeah. So much tiptoeing around eggshells nowadays, Chan. Hi there, Frattaroli. What's this? What kind of Nova Beast is that? This is called Geb's handcrafted Nova Beast, made out of a Vulper base. No, I'm not a Nova Beast anymore, chat. I am very much something else. Hi there, Snowdozer. Yeah, Shudder, yeah. What's your opinion on pineapple on pizza? Contrary to what social media says, I have been eating that since I was a kid, and I actually like the sweet contrast and the crunchiness of the pineapple, complemented by the saltiness of the ham. I don't see what's wrong with it. Yeah. Vesper says, I used to be like that. I was young, stupid, and exploratory. I didn't give a damn what people call me now. I mean, I don't give a damn what people call me now. Anything other than a lady, though. I won't bite, but check your eyes. Look, man. People overcomplicate things nowadays. So many people put on masks because of how easily and accessible they are. Some use it, well, for fun, but most use it for predatory purposes. You put on mask because you hide your real face, whether you don't like your real face or for some other purpose. But the point is, it's a mask, chat. And I don't trust anybody with masks. What's this? Pineapple on pizza is cool, says Shudder, but with jalapeno sauce is good. You know, when it comes to food, chat, how can you hate on something that is so fundamentally important to our day to day lives, to our survival? Right? Like, you just enjoy the food how you want it. Some people like coffee with creamer and sugar. Some like it having, like, with some cinnamon on it. Others just like it plain black. Is there a reason to hate others that like to diversify their flavor a little bit when it comes to food? Any plans for the summer, says Kat? Number one, right, to survive the heat. The heat index in my country earlier was at a high 52 degrees Celsius. Oh, that's really hot, chat. Second, as I discussed earlier during stream, I will be working on my Patreon thing. So I'll be launching a subscription thing where I'll be reading stuff. People have been pushing this for a long time now. Gab, you should read ebooks. Gab, you should narrate things. Gab, you should do this and that with your voice. And I will fulfill all those wishes. Spread towards varying tiers. The lower tiers are going to be, well, just classic novels and whatnot. And then the high tiers would be reading user submitted content. of that's more worth the price, if you know what I mean. Fan fictions, fantasy store, they're all under the same umbrella. Mm. And yeah, I look. People have been pushing. Well, I a friend told me that if I start reading sensual stuff, look, I draw a line at some point, okay? But sensual or slash mildly erotic is okay. It's just not the blatant smut and other gross things like pass, hard pass. But yeah, uh, I don't mind giving it a try. Let's see how it is. Let's launch it for a month and then see what people want me to continue on from there. And then, yeah. You know, Kat, you have a most fantastic voice as well. I'm sure you've been getting a whole lot of requests to read stuff too. You very much fit the bill of what did chat describe you as? A dommy mommy, I think. Did I get that right? I don't know. I think. Aren't you Tagalog? I am Filipino. That's true. So yeah. Female model, female model. This no chat. What you're seeing are not boobs. These be the hard work and the results of it, of exercise. That's my chest chat. I love your smoke voice. My smoke voice. That's an odd combination of words. And your mimic. My mimic? I have a mimic? How's B6S? Where is B6? I don't know. All I see is lipstick 14. Where are your friends? Vesper is still at work, and so it's just me streaming right now. It's smoky but not husky. I agree, it's a good voice. Thanks. I have an acquaintance. He has a. I will describe his voice as a. It sounds like a diesel exhaust. It's that low. I'm thankful I don't have that voice. What's this? Cat says, my chat tends to over sexualize me fairly fast. I don't like it. I don't think any decent person would like that either, Cat. Like, I just ban people outright when they're being weird in my chat. So take that as a warning, everyone. Don't be weird. Bad life advice, Redeem. But first, let's read the Nashi's message. Well, I sadly only jumped by today. I'm exhausted, but I wish you and chat a great day and good stream. You have a great day too, Valley. Thanks for dropping by. Are those real people in the background? You mean like these robots behind me? I think they're very much real. No, no, no. It's good. Try. I I like the compliment. Don't worry. Thank you, Punchy, and everybody who's been complimenting about how things sound. Now, for the bad life advice redeem and Twitch. Cousin is asking, I'm feeling a bit down. Can I get bad life advice on how to get better? It's simple. You fight fire with fire. And what that entails is watch the most depressing movies you can. It will out depress your current depression, hence solving your problem of your current depression. It will be gone. Have you ever watched Major Pain? He was a Vietnam veteran, I think, and then he helped one of his soldiers who got shot and he said, Hey, do you want me to make the pain go away? Give me your finger. So the soldier, griping in pain, gave his finger, and then a Major Pain sure made the pain go away from the shot, and everything's on the finger that is now bent at an odd angle. Good day, Wendigo. Takumi the cheetah, a cheetah in chat. That's rare. Hi there. I was going to say that I bet you run fast. Go ahead, Shutter. Go pursue what you want to pursue. What's this? What's your favorite animal and color? My pet cat and his color black. Is this a hobby? What do you mean? I'm streaming for fun and yeah, I guess. What do you do when you feel alone? I am left with three things: contemplate on my thoughts, sharpen my skills by working on something like Blender, Substance Painter, Unity, or my motorcycle. My motorcycle always gives me sonies. Or third, I actually try and communicate with the few friends I have and ask them if they're up for a little hanging out. But then again, I have great company nowadays. I rarely ever feel alone. I have my good friends. I have my darling. I have games. What kind of music do you listen to? Oh man, my Spotify is a mixed bag. A lot of these songs I have don't have lyrics on them. I can tell you what I don't listen to. I'm not a big fan of rap, hip hop, nightcore, country, and I think that's it really, yeah. I've recently gotten a fascination towards music from like custom made instruments. I forgot what their channel was. But one particular YouTuber that I follow is Wintergatten. Have you ever heard of Wintergatten? He's the one who made the marble machine, right? So he made this fantastic apparatus, this clockwork thing. He's just a, I don't know if he's either a savant or just a pure genius because he engineered the thing himself. And then there's this thing called like it was like a violin but a synthesizer. It gave the most haunting tone, and I love it. It's so nice. Whenever you play something, a melody out of it, it would most definitely evoke feelings of nostalgia, like going back to better times that you know can no longer be brought to the present. Yes, this is Gab. Hmm. What's this? Ramstein. Yes. Was it Who was that German band? Der Sergut. Yeah. You call me bald, I call you blind. Have a good look. You see that? Vin Vin says, any advice when you're having a hard time opening up when making friends in fear of being judged? Remind yourself that there are tens of billions of individuals roaming this planet right now. If you open up and it doesn't work with person A, move to person A1 and then A2, so on and so forth. You have an exhaustive list of people you can go through. Don't be afraid. The world isn't comprised of 100 individuals. There's billions of us. Don't be afraid of making friends. And most of all, don't be afraid of being rejected when you're trying to make friends. It just means that that person wasn't meant to be your friend. Okay? Just move on. Find another guy. Maybe your taste might align more. Don't despair so much over one person's opinion on you. Right? Teacher. Just be yourself. The number one hurdle when it comes to making friends is the fear of rejection. Again, rejection is part of life. It just means you're incompatible with the friend you're trying to make. Well, the person you're trying to make a friend, that is. Just move on. Force them to be your friends. Like, for friendship is never forced, chat. If and when they say, yeah, they're your friends, fine. They really aren't. Friendship is something natural. There's a compatibility factor to it. Either seal, of course, no problem. Checking things, chat. Hold on. Damn. Also, here's another piece of advice, chat. Be prepared for friends to outgrow you. In this fast paced, short attention span of a timeline we're at right now, people will move on really quick, especially if it's just online relationships. I know most of us are old school and believe in friends now, friends for life. But to dull the blow if and when it happens, just be real and accept that some people, some acquaintances will never really fully bloom into friendships. Thank you, Mystic. Yeah, 2 hours. If a person never really checks up on you, they're polite to you when you greet them. Hello, they're gonna do like that and everything. You know, you play games with them and everything, right? You say good day. But if they never do the same to you without you prompting them, they never really was your friend in the first place. Think about it. They're just polite individuals, but not your friends. Remind yourself of that. If you go out of your own way for this other person without them having to ask you, asking you to do so, but you never get it the same. A simple good morning, hi, hello, out of the blue, or how are you doing? Or I noticed this and that from you. Or like, hey, there's this cool thing I found. I thought it would make you laugh. If you don't get any of that from a person you consider a friend, they aren't your friend. No, rather, they don't consider you a friend. I always fall into that trap, Chan. I'm very quick to be trusting to people I accept within my circle. But yeah, I guess that was my mistake. A mistake I constantly make. One day they're there supporting you, the next they're not. Oh, I am not incorrect, Anubis. Here's the thing, Anubis. If I am unable to perceive care even on the most base level, was there really any care in the first place? No. If you have a friendship in which they are simply reactive but not proactive, it isn't a friendship. They're no different than a kind stranger on the street. Why, if it isn't me, oh goodness me, are you here to revive the dusty old coin flip place? Haven't had a wager in over 2 weeks. I think. Maybe. I think. Hmm. We got the same thoughts as Vin. Yes. It seems one of our patrons have decided to move on to greener pastures. I shall not name them. And we're but left with the ever busy mystic and the you. Where's your not, I'll still be streaming, chat. Don't worry. Though I do miss it, it's fun, adds spice. Always still welcome it if it's present. But yes, me a good day. How are you? I fancy a little wager. Sure, Mystic, thanks. Hold on. Why can't I? This music is called Dance avec Moi. Pretty good. Me, I'm alright. I'm okay. But going back to Mystic's request, Stos, Princesita wishes to have a wager. Okay. You know, the coin got simplified, Chad. One end, it's a heart, right? So I assume that's heads. On the other hand, it's an oh no scalp. I'll consider this tails. Very easy to see. Okay. So, Mystic. Heads or tails? Hearts or skulls? Love or death? How about that? Love or death, Mystic? What would it be? The wager placed by our patron is if I win, says Mystic, Gebus has to do 5 dances. Ow, that's gonna be a first in my new form, okay. If you win, you get a week's worth of grocery in your hands. Heads, please. So this is heads, Mystic, the heart, which is love. All right. That's a bejeweled 3 coin. I know. Okay. All right. So we're gonna play our game, okay? It's a good angle for this. No. No. This. No. Let's just stick with the classic. All right, chat. Are you ready? Love for Mystic, death for me. And so we flip. Okay. So that got mildly confused. Chat. It looks like I will be getting a bunch of good food this week. But, but, because we haven't had a wager in so long, I will not consider it a total loss for Mystic. Mystic, I will do a minimum of 3 dances for you for free. We're good friends anyway. Thank you for playing. I really appreciate it. I thought the thing was gone. Yes. Oh, so yeah. Mystic may have lost the coin toss, but she has not lost entirely, chat. Vesper says, wish I could join. Ah, hmm. It's okay. Yeah, you could. Look, how about you go join us in the MMD world? You can see me dancing in for the first time in my new form. And yeah, Vesper says, man, helping so many people makes faces look like a blur sometimes. Nearly didn't spot my grandpa. Such is the nature of being a cashier. Go enjoy your dinner with grandpa first, okay? Love or death, even robots. Love, death, and robots, chat. Yes. He's using slime VR trackers. Correct. Wonder what I'm gonna buy for this week's grocery. I've actually been cutting down on expenditures because finances haven't exactly been stellar. But now that I get a little bit of a boost, can I actually afford vegetables? Hmm. Let's see. We have Mystic to thank anyway. It seems Mio is giving the popcorn emote. Mio, do you know what the popcorn emote means? It means you yourself want to participate in a little game of chance. And how can I say no? I'm gonna drink some tea. Hold on. So much better. So, Mio, are we gonna play this game? Mystic, thank you super duper
Hey,
much.
that means great food and great fun.
Great food and great fun. What's a few dances for a week's worth of surviving, right? Damn. Wow, whoa. So 2 hours, 10 and 50 minutes. 2 hours, 10 and 40 seconds. 2 hours, 10 and 40 seconds. Right. Oh my good damn it, controllers. Let's go then, says Mia. Mia, alrighty. So, love or death, my friend. Take your pick. It sounds new, so you can't say the odds are skewed. So this little thing is death, and this little thing is love, as you can see. What? There? No, no, it's not focusing. Never mind. Tails equals death. Yes. Heads equals love. I'm gonna let you pick, Mia. Hi there, Smiley Riley. One death, please, aka pause, aka tails. Alrighty. How about we go flip? Chat, we're having a second wager tonight. Me, our dear friend, is hoping he'd win. Did he win last time? I don't quite remember. Let's see if he wins this time. So, death for him, love for him. And so we flip. Oh, Mia. You know how much I love you, right? And thus the coin does not lie. Big old heart, just like me. Give me another. All right. Oh, I thought you wanted a double or nothing. Mm, Gosh. Vesper says, Geb doesn't need a death or love coin when he's got a darling with a taste for smacking monsters into oblivion. That's true. You are both love and death. I want to create my own tribe someday. Your own tribe? What do you mean? I wonder if Mystic's still there. After the stream, I will. Oh, I have to take off my track because I have to send them back for a bit of troubleshooting. Double or nothing, you know me. There's a saying: if you're gonna finish, go finish big. So double or nothing. Still here, I was touching up my Mamehina. Is that a character? Is that the new Avi of yours with I don't know what they call it. Alright, let's go. Alright, Neo. Love or death. Take your pick. Come on. What's it gonna be? What? Oh, tails for Anubis. Chat, we're having a double or nothing from Mia, so if you want to join in with the coin flip, even though there's no real prize, you just want to see what the odds are. Tell me, love or death? That is the two sides of the coin that we have right now. Oh, wow, that's clipping. The two sides of the coin we have right now. Death for Mia. Okay, we're gonna flip in 10 seconds. For sure love, says Tommy. One person is siding with Mia so far. Oh, 5 seconds until we play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so, we flip. Love for me, death for me. Mio. I hope this is not the death of our little game. Because it fell in love again. Oh my. So love wins, chat. The coin landed on, well, the little blue, well, red heart that you see right now. Blue? Why did I say blue? Because that's me. Oh, Mio. Welcome back to stream, Mio. I sure love having you here. Oh, lovely. In the moment, I will find out what that will be like. See, consolation prize. It's not so bad. That's a cute coin there. It's the default pattern for the coin. Vesper says, alright, AirPod died against. I'll return it as soon as I can. Bye, Vesp. Could I be next for the coin flip? Salve, what do you have to wager? I love the haircut, fresh cut. Yes, quite dandy, isn't it? Okay, Meta, thank you. I absolutely love being place-based. Whoa, 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 Salve. No, there has to be something to wager. So it's fair to the others. Mhm. Then again, if it's just a free coin flip, no win, no loss. Let's see. Love yet again. Let's see if it lands in death. And now it's death. Okay, floaty man. Pin 2. Wanna wager big, you gotta put big down. That's true. Man, when's the last time I had a big wager? I think that was in December. The thing with what's his name? Oh my goodness, I cannot recall names. Oh wow, I can't. Hello, brain. The thing with Lucifer Jade wasn't a wager though. He gave me a challenge. He gave me detective work to do. If I was able to solve it, I got the prize. And I did. Thank goodness. Small wager, big wager. Wager's a wager. Isn't it nice and exciting when there's something in the line? Mio, thank you very much.
I lost again. What a surprise.
Listen, friend, you win some, you lose some. Why? Arashikaga. Man, what's with the hard to pronounce names? Arashi says, this is my first time watching you live and I love your voice. What accent is that? Gives me death vibes from Puss in Boots. Death? I'm from the Philippines. We were occupied by the Spanish for over 3 centuries, and perhaps that's what has been rubbing off on us. Well, accent wise. It's okay, Salve. You're good. Mia, no, no, really, thank you. You've definitely made my day more than you think it did. 100 million%. Duplis says, how do these wagers work? I just joined. Well, it's simple. You bet some coin. Wow, hello. Sorry, Chan. You bet some coin and then uh you pick a side of the coin. I mean, you pick a side from my coin. If it lands on heads or tails, depending on your choosing, you win or you lose. If you win, you get to request something off of me, depending on the size of the wager. If it's something small, it can be me saying a line, me zooming in on the camera and giving you a little message, or zooming into my teeth, as odd as Mio's requests are. Or if it's a big wager, like a really big one, I could come on next stream wearing a particular outfit or an asset of your choosing, which I will purchase off of Gumroad. Like a certain dress that's black and white. Yes, Tommy. I like to hear that. Yeah. No, I genuinely mean it when I say you guys made my day. You and Misty was slightly losing hope. I jest. How did you become a furry? I don't know. I guess it's sort of just like, ah, I like the taste of fried chicken, how it looks, how it smells. And yeah, I guess I'm a fan of fried chicken now. Do you remember when? Vesperos Returnus. Ah, yes. Vesperus Fireplaces. Mmm. Wow, my mouth is dry. Let me go drink, chat. I have a feeling I'm getting the Meta Play Space bug because my lenses on the Quest Pro are kind of dirty. Along with my controllers, I'll give it a good wipe down after. The stare emoji. Oh no, Vesper doesn't have emoji rights anymore. Oh dear. I love the look of that world with. Yes. It's very alive. Even though the denizens are mechanical in nature, it really is one of the worlds that feels the most alive. Why? Because NPCs add so much. When you're part of something big, it just makes the feeling of, well, being in a world and not just you being placed into it feel all the more authentic. Absolutely. But yeah, hi chat. I'm glad all of you are here. Hi there. If you're new, come say hello. 5 minutes chat and I gotta skedaddle. It's almost 2 hours and a half. Can you believe that? We've been graced by our friends Mystic and Mio indulging in our wagers, so things got a bit fun. Now, I gave Mystic a consolation prize. Maybe I should give Mio one as well. Mio, hypothetically, if you were to be given a consolation prize, what would you want? What would you ask for, friend? Mystic says, y'all should check out these worlds when you have a chance. Exploring is so much fun, you'd be surprised at what you can find, and the reactions are priceless. What world, Mystic? You can always DM to me a list or recommendations. I'd appreciate that. Maybe if Gabby said goodnight to me. Not all, me. A simple goodnight for you. Are you going to bed now, Mio? Let's change the music. It doesn't suit the mood. It's Ludwig Molen. The return of spring. Okay. Now where were we? It seems Mio here is going to bed soon. Mio, normally this is a expensive redeem over at Twitch, right? So let me say it to you personally then. Mio, oh dear patron who always plays the wagers. You've supported me for many, many months now. And I look forward to seeing you in the months to come. But I shall keep this brief because I know you're about to turn in. Mio, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And I'll see you in the morning light. Sweet dreams, friend. Rest well. And I'll see you in the next wager. And go ahead, shoot. That clip that, says Tommy. Don't. Not worth clipping anyway. Sweet dreams, Mia. Proto Brownie says there's a world called Fallen Prayers. Very pretty world that looks like something from Wind Waker. Oh, I need to put that down. Mystic says I was speaking in general. There's the VR chat than just chatting and being cringe, you know. But yeah, I'll drop a list of what I found. But if you don't bring the whole gang, we'll be dancing hand to hand dancing. Okay, fine. So be it. Be a reminder for when we sleep. Where's your main? Main? That bulky thing? It's clearly not on me. What's this? Arashikage says, not gonna lie. You make an avatar that should be cute, so freaking hot with your wow. Ah, what are you talking about? No dull Alright, alright. All work and no play. That is a sign for me to not extend past 10 more minutes. Fine. 5 more minutes, chat. How can I leave you hanging? You know, see if we can change the angles a bit. Make it more interesting. Yeah. Vesper says, "Good, I'm getting cozy until dinner. Maybe you should eat too." That is some sound advice from Vesper. I actually haven't eaten breakfast yet. And here I was with some cheap chicken sandwiches. They were $1 each. Miko says, "I love your calm streams for Go ahead." I'm glad I can help you relax, yeah. Anyway, it's food time, says Proto Brownie. Have a great night, Gab. I'll see you around. Vesper says, "I know you love. I'm not very hungry until I boot up too." Yeah. Did I just go? Few more minutes. Promise. Uh, There it is. I see that. Chat wanted me to sleep. No, eat. Right. Habit or no traveling. Yeah. I will. I will. I'm. I'm not sure I can hang. I can hang out in VR chat. I just won't have FBT. New looks as lone wolf. Instead of having double fluff on the cheeks, I have but one. Should be the most easily observable difference. Alright, Chad, I gotta ask. Compared to the Nova Beast, what is the most immediate standout feature that you notice that's different? What am I listening to? Yes, on this model, Chad. Color me curious. I really need to know. I'll help you have a good look here. Zooming in. Come on. Oh, you're disqualified. You already know. And good morning. Yeah, obviously the hair. Okay, that's one. Okay, Shoppa, fine. You can help chat point out what's new. The mall. What about the mall? Weird question. Can I see your tail? Not at the moment, Sal. I'm sitting down quite comfortably. It's on his face. Mm, What's on my face? What? What? Chat, in case you're curious, I'm asking them. What is the difference between my old Nova Beast and my present avatar? Well, come on, chat. I know you can spot the differences. Wow, itchy. Oh, that's a cute pose. Let's take a photo. A little different in the scale. No, they're precisely the same. The soupless, it's okay. You're exempted. The ears. What about my ears? They're the same. Ish. Okay, fine. They're a bit different. Two. So it's the hair and the ears. Go on. I would tell, but that would be cheating, says Vesper. I'm glad you know. Arashi says, now I'm sad I can't spot the differences because I don't know what your Nova Abby look like. I'm so tempted to swap into it, but that would be cheating. Shopa says, I would tell all of it, but that would also be cheating. Vesper and Shopa know me very well. Bone structure. Elaborate. Floating. You sure? I mean, clothing can be changed per avatar, but yes. Clothing is a today thing, chat. That's new. Hello, Shockster. Shockster the Tiger. You sound like a teenage superhero for furries. Shockster the Tiger. Good friends with Kellogg's. Aaron got a new fish, by the way. Oh, the Jola. You know what? That's the third one. The jawline. Mhm. I, okay. Valid. I hope your sister takes care of it, Vesper. Vesper's sister got a new fish after putting down her fish earlier. Mm, reminds me of that girl in Finding Nemo. I hope that's not gonna be the case. The teeth aren't standard Nova, aren't they? Says Miku. No. The tint of your goggles. All right, that's one. That's another one. Why is my comment not visible? I can see your comment just fine. Come on, chat. Last few minutes of stream. But if you call it quits, then let's see. We can stop with the guessing game. It's okay. He now has omnivorish teeth. Omnivore. I mean, correct? What? The V word? Omnivore. Action. For you to pop up of all times. Am I going to be seeing you in VR chat? Doxter is a habilitated. I'm getting Matthew's incorrect grammar. A person with ability indeed. Maybe on desktop. Somebody doesn't want to wear the Somnium anymore. Thank you, Siopaw. Pwede mo siyang paluin kung gusto mo. Wag, okay lang. Pabayaan mo na. No, chat. We're not used. Not the V word. Mm-mm. I do, but can't cause. Oh, if it's a medical thing, Axiom, no, just no need. Take it easy. Just lie down. Definitely not going to be playing EDF or anything. Ooh, the lenses just came off, chat. No, what's that? Okay, okay. You can't see what I'm gonna do. Did that pop off? What? Prescription lenses. No. There. No, no. Damn it. E. Gonna be weird. I'm taking off my headset. There you go. Whew, I didn't have to. I'm back. You have high RTX. Oh. If only I could get like great racing. No, God forbid I could have like path racing. But alas, Unity doesn't support that. This version of Unity, as far as I know. Goodness me, will you look at the time, Chad? Ah, if only I could stream for longer, but alas, I have to go. It's been 2 hours and 44. Should I extend? Should I? Chat, do you want me to extend stream a bit? Kuya pa extend. Ano, computer siya? It's not my birthday, Ilishka. 15 minutes. So you want me to complete the whole 3 hours? Is that it? Hmm. Okay. Salve is considerate with my time. Tommy wants me to extend. Hmm. I'm the only Portuguese. Let's go. Ah, pinto. Pintuan. It means door in Filipino. Something else in Portuguese. Go to Twitch so I can lurk sa shop. I'll see you there. What genre of games do you like? I love the Battlefield series. I love games that play like Helldivers, and I love the Diablo games. Oh, Path of Exile too. Factorio, For Honor, Space Engineers, um, Stardew Valley, a bunch of other things. What are you? I'm a streamer, Paris. I'm an investigator. What is that accent? Filipino? No, like what kind of an? I'm not an animal, I'm a person. I'm trying to confuse you. If you mean what I resemble, well, some say I look feline, some say I look canine, some say I look like a dragon. But then again, categorizing all of these mixed traits into one is a bit tricky. What do you think am I? Some say I'm a fox. Definitely not a wolf. Come on. Yes, with the guesses. Banan, banan. A cat? Great Dale, where are my whiskers? I'll see you around, Nagarashi. Bye. Thanks for hanging around. I hope I see you again during the next stream. Yeah? Um, Dragon Fox thingy. Paris, you couldn't have worded it better. Precisely. That's what I tell people too. I'm not. Look, the nose and the scales betray the foxiness. But then again, the cheeks also accentuates it. A bit too zoomed in, sorry. And my nice big old floppy ears. I mean, they're definitely helpful. You look like toothless. Oh, God, here we go again. I don't care what you resemble. You're still handsome, by the way. Thank you, Cool Munch. You and your flattery. Es bonito either way. Speaking of bonito, we are 10 minutes away from 3 hours. Should I just finish the whole circuit, chat? Are you still in the cafe? No, I am currently outside, as you can see. Welcome to the streets of District Roboto, chat. I like to loiter around here. Wow. Thank you, Gavin. Wow. So you count the coins whenever you keep flipping them in the air. I could make a rough estimate. That's for sure. I remember matting it up before to how many was that? I think 3,000 flips in a 3 hour stream. So one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two. But that was back then when I flipped the coin consistently. But now, alas, I take breaks. It's tiring. Bro is such a chill guy. That's me. Your smile reminds me of the Joker. Just because I have a sneer doesn't mean I'm a villain. Yours is gib gib. Hey, that's an axiom thing. Why you sounding like him now? Gib gib. I just got to my office and the heat is so hellish. Terrible to be a commuter. I can only imagine. Make sure you don't ride those unair conditioned things, okay? Go pester your brother so you can get home. Can you go and talk with the other people in the room? Unfortunately, I cannot speak binary to the robots here. I've been trying to be communicative with Chef, but I don't think he is really much to talk the English language. Hmm. Whenever in communication occurs between me and the bots, it always ends up being a translation interface instead of actual verbal exchange. Yes. There are also kitties roaming around here, so sharp eyes if you've spotted one. Hello, Palarmi bro. What Palarmi bro there? Alarm. I don't even know what your name means. Alarmi bro. Happy Easter. Fine, fine. Let's make it all the way to 3 hours, chat. Why not? The light. Somebody say 3 hours. Of course, Memo pops up. Of all people. Hi, Memo. Oh, bro, if I could get a cent for every 3 hour streams, you would probably have 3 cents. Growl? Why would I growl? I'm not an animal. I have a question. Am I able to add you in VR chat? You are able to. Wow, hello, and the question is, am I gonna accept? Go ahead. I will check your profile. No hard feelings if I don't, though. I'm look. I'm very picky with the people I add as friends. So you should use me as an example. Don't just add any stranger, chat. Very picky memo. Picky. You would have 12 cents. Right. Mm. Oh man, should I take a nap? No, no, I have some business to attend to. I'll see you around, Paris. Farewell from this dragon fox thingy. I only watch three streamers on this app. You, MODC Moto. Is he like a motorcycling guy? And Filian. Filian. I wonder how many controllers he broke at this point. How can you even do a backflip in VR? That girl is amazing. Greetings, Geba, says Holy Fairy. How are you doing today? I am doing fine, thank you. Whoa, let's go. Calibrate. There we go. Wakey, wakey, it's time for blend. No! I'm finished with Blender for this week. 2 more minutes, chat. For free. What are you talking? Oh, yes, chat. Fine, I have it. What is Blender? Blender is an app for torture. Oh, I've been clipping into the thing. Okay, there. Sorry. Apps amazing. Hmm. What type of cheers this avatar supposed to be? I am a fox dragon thing, as coined by Paris earlier. Onyx has requested to join Gemus' shadow again. Who is this Onyx person? Alright. Let's view. Hi, I'm Onyx. Okay. Wow, the I am a minor. Immediately decline. No, sir. I do not make friends with kids. Good luck. No, thank you. I'm not after numbers, champ. Did people ask you today if you were Filipino? Surprisingly, not, Memo. They just kept on asking what accent it was, but they never really asked if that was Filipino or not. Thank goodness. Oh my god. No! And we're banning Memo. Yep. Chronic Dragon would want to jump. Right as I was about to end stream. Happy 3 hour mark, chat. Blood Knight, remember, 18 only, okay? 18 and above. It's all good. Bam, 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 bam. I really like this track. This whimsical piano track. It's entitled, it says, Just Like My Dream. Ah, not the best with remembering. We all forget. What does that sign say over there? I talk about the blue one. It says I have no idea. I can't read it. But the sign behind it though says automaton arms. They have pay later plans, second-hand parts, and what's this? Something services. Live debug services. It's for the robots. Like you, little punk. I can't understand the language written memo. All right, where's the memo? Timeout for 5 million seconds. Oh, yeah, I will indulge. You're curious about the sign over there, right? See what I mean? Automaton arms. Pay later plans. Second-hand parts. Limb debug services. It wasn't live. Yep, that's it. I hope you're happy. That is Jim. Jim like sitting around B6S. That I don't know who that is, but he's cute. And those two, well, I'm not sure if they're friends, but they sure like having a long conversation with each other. Hi, Mecca. Speaking of friends,
Hello.
if it ain't my buddy Mecca. Hi, I was actually about to end the stream. Come on. Yes, I'm streaming, Mecca.
Okay, wait, okay, I'll hop over here. Okay, oh,
Give us take a seat
Christ.
so I can
Hello.
move the camera.
Okay,
Hello.
yeah. Oh. Eh, eh,
There we go, Chad.
hello.
Now you can see both of us. How are you? Where'd you come
Oh
from?
my
Did you like have a the dance thing, right? It was for early morning.
Yeah. I got to wake up quite early, and
Yeah,
with
like how
the
early,
dance crew
Mecca?
I'm with, uh, 6 a.m. So not bad, not bad. I'm usually up at 7, but I'm not functional an hour
Oh,
late.
I can imagine. I'm gonna take a nap after stream. Wake up way too
That's
early.
fair. But it's important to check in with the team because we're all over the world. So
Of
it's fun
course.
time every so often. So good. But I hope everyone in chat is relaxing and vibing along with you
Chat,
and not too
Mechatronic
early.
Dragon. Yes, as always.
Oh, hi. I'm Nick.
Yes, Mike.
Just hop in here. Who's that guy? I don't know.
He is one of 4 or 5 people I consider friends. Chat.
Hello.
That's Mechatronic Dragon, my Australian buddy. He likes dancing, he
Yeah.
likes doodling. He's an engineer. He has like a PhD in theoretical sciences and many much more.
That might be a little bit of a stretch here and there, but I like the creativity there. That's the
Yes,
spirit.
precisely.
But yeah,
If you
definitely a
know
good
how
bit of fun.
old Mecha is, we are a year apart. That's a big clue. I'm not telling you how old he is. I'm not telling you how old I am.
Oh my good grief.
So yes. Is your friend a hedgehog? Hedgehog. Oh, it's because of the mane. He does look like one, doesn't he? It's like Sonic but white.
uh,
I
oh
think
my
all
gosh.
Nova Bees have the inherent mane, so yeah.
Yeah, all the hair and all that. I thought it was a bit of a good giggle, so I kept all that. But yes, I suppose it could look like a bit of a hedge. style.
I
Particularly
see the
one that might go
similarities.
very fast around their realms. Yes.
Gotta go fast. That's trademarked. I can't say that.
Mhm. Gotta go zoomies.
Yeah. What are your plans like now, Mecca?
Oh well, considering it's still part of the whole Iggy break, definitely just checking in,
Eggy
bouncing around.
Easter.
Yeah, the Iggy break.
Okay.
Yes, happy Iggy Day, everybody.
Okay.
But is that so? Just making sure fam's okay, and yeah, it's a comedically early start for the day because technically for I guess the rest of the crew, it was like midnight. This robot keeps driving on my leg. I'm running off.
I
It's just having a
know.
laugh. My, is it? Did you see that? Or is that just
Yep.
me?
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
I can see it. It's synced.
It's gonna run over my tail or something. I think it's
The
gonna cause a
little
trip.
the mono
But
wheel.
I'm gonna need to get insurance details. Vehicle insurance details. I don't think I'm a vehicle, but technically robot. So there you go.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, there's lipstick 14 is walking
Ooh,
by. Yeah, yep.
okay, okay. All right.
He's walked over me around 5 times now.
Crikey. Well, when they've got to go somewhere, I guess they like to meander. But no,
Yeah.
I hope chat you're all doing good out there and just having a nice little break where you can. Yes, and maybe doing some dancing. Just
Oh, okay.
maybe.
Mega, you know what? You came in just in time. How about we go scap our stream and say farewell to them? You go say goodbye to them
Yeah,
first.
okay.
Come on, there we go.
So,
Zoomies.
what do I say? What do I do? Oh no, no.
Goodbye. Have a great
You all
day.
take care. Keep being awesome out there and have an excellent day or night, depending on where you're at. And I will nip out of the scene so I can say goodbye.
Okay.
Bye. Whoop.
And for me, chat, we've had a nice 3 hour stream. I will catch you next time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'll see you around, okay? It was really fun. Day after tomorrow. Yeah, save the questions